If aliens landed on Earth and looked at the numbers, they wouldn't say this is the planet of humans. They would say this is the planet of ants. For every single human being on Earth, there are 2.5 million ants. If you put all of us on one side of a scale and all the ants on the other, the scale would tip in their favor. They have conquered every continent except Antarctica. They invented farming, slavery, and chemical warfare millions of years before we even learned to walk upright. These are not just insects. They are a hive mind civilization that operates with the efficiency of a machine and the brutality of an empire. Welcome back to Top Wonder. Today, we are shrinking down to the microscopic battlefield to witness the top 10 most mind-blowing ant facts. Number 10. The super soldiers. We often say someone is strong as an ox, but we should really say strong as an ant. The Asian weaver ant can lift a weight 100 times heavier than its own body. To put that into perspective, imagine a human being walking over to a fully loaded pickup truck, picking it up with their teeth, and then sprinting up a vertical glass wall. But it isn't just about lifting. Their neck joints are engineering marvels designed to withstand pressures 5,000 times greater than their own body weight. If human engineers could replicate the biomechanics of an ant's neck, we could build construction cranes capable of lifting skyscrapers. They are biological machines built for impossible feats of strength. Number 9. The fastest strike on Earth. In the animal kingdom, speed kills, and the trapjaw ant is the fastest gun in the West. Its jaws are spring-loaded with elastic energy. When triggered, they snapshot at speeds reaching 140 miles per hour. This movement happens in just 0.13 milliseconds. That is 2,300 times faster than the blink of a human eye. The force is so extreme that when the jaws strike an object, the recoil launches the ant itself into the air. They use this ejection seat maneuver to escape predators, flinging themselves inches away to safety. It is the biological equivalent of punching the ground so hard that you fly into orbit. Number 8. The combat medics. War is hell, even for insects. The Matabele ants of Africa specialize in hunting termites, a dangerous prey that fights back. During these raids, many ants lose legs or suffer crushing injuries. But unlike other insects that leave the wounded to die, Matabele ants have a medical corps. After the battle, other ants will carry the injured back to the nest. Once there, nurse ants treat the wounds by intensely licking them. This isn't just affection. Their saliva contains antimicrobial compounds that reduce the infection rate from 80% down to just 10%. They are the only animals besides humans known to systematically treat the battle wounds of their comrades to save their lives. Number 7. The slave masters. Slavery is a dark chapter in human history, but for the Polyergus ants, it is a way of life. These are known as slave-making ants. They have specialized mandibles designed for piercing armor, not for working. They cannot feed themselves or care for their young. To survive, they must steal a workforce. They launch organized raids on the nests of other ant species. They use chemical propaganda to confuse the defenders, slaughter the resistance, and then steal the unhatched pupae. When these stolen babies hatch in the slave maker's nest, they are chemically imprinted to believe this is their home. They spend their entire lives foraging, building, and feeding the very masters who murdered their parents. Number 6. The living carpet of death. Most ants build nests in the ground. Army ants build nests out of their own bodies. A colony of army ants is a nomadic superorganism consisting of millions of individuals that never stop moving. When they march, they form a column up to 20 meters wide, consuming everything in their path. There is no escape. They can strip a cow to the bone in a matter of days. Insects, spiders, scorpions, and even small mammals flee in terror as the marabunter approaches. If a river blocks their path, they link bodies to form living bridges. If a flood comes, they form living rafts that can float for weeks. They are a relentless, flow-like force of nature that simply eats the world one step at a time. You have seen ants that lift trucks and ants that kidnap babies, but you are not ready for what comes next. The top 5 facts on this list reveal a level of biological horror that sounds like science fiction, including a species that turns into a suicide bomb and a parasite that turns ants into real-life zombies. Stay right there, the nightmare is just beginning. Number 5. The suicide bombers. In the rainforests of Southeast Asia, there is an ant that takes self-defense to the ultimate extreme. The Colobopsis saundersi, also known as the exploding ant, has a body filled with enlarged glands containing a sticky, toxic yellow goo. When the nest is threatened and the battle is lost, these worker ants do the unthinkable. They contract their abdominal muscles so violently that they rupture their own bodies, exploding instantly. This suicidal blast sprays the toxic glue onto the enemy, immobilizing them and burning them with corrosive chemicals. It is the ultimate sacrifice, destroying yourself to ensure the colony survives. Number 4. The industrial farmers. 50 million years before humans planted their first seed, leafcutter ants were running industrial-scale agricultural operations. You have seen them carrying leaves, but they don't eat those leaves. They use them as fertilizer to grow a specific type of fungus. These underground fungus gardens are massive, some the size of a bus. The ants are meticulous farmers. They weed out pests, use antibiotic bacteria on their bodies to kill parasites, and regulate the temperature and humidity of the farm. They are so dependent on this fungus that the queen carries a small pellet of it in her mouth when she leaves to start a new colony. It is a symbiotic relationship that has conquered the rainforest. Number 3. The king of pain. If you are ever in the jungles of Central America, do not touch the bullet ant. It gets its name for a reason. The sting is said to feel exactly like being shot with a gun. On the Schmidt Sting Pain Index, which ranks insect stings from 1 to 4, the bullet ant is a 4+. Victims describe the pain as walking over flaming charcoal with a 3-inch rusty nail in your heel. The agony lasts for 24 hours and comes in waves of trembling, nausea, and paralysis. Indigenous tribes use gloves filled with these ants in initiation rituals. Boys must wear the gloves for 10 minutes. Many pass out from the sheer shock of the pain. It is a neurotoxic nightmare delivered by a single, inch-long insect. Number 2. The zombie apocalypse. The most terrifying enemy of the ant isn't a predator, it's a fungus called Ophiocordyceps. When a spore lands on an ant, it drills into its body and begins to grow, hijacking the ant's central nervous system. It cuts the connection between the ant's brain and its muscles. The ant is no longer in control. It is a passenger in its own body. The fungus forces the zombie ant to leave the safety of the nest and climb a plant to a precise height where humidity is perfect. The ant then clamps its jaws onto a leaf in a death grip and dies. Days later, a stalk bursts out of the ant's head, raining spores down onto the colony below to infect more victims. It is a biological horror story that makes Hollywood zombie movies look like cartoons. Number 1. The Global World War. We think humans fight big wars, but beneath our feet, a global conflict has been raging for decades. It is the war of the Argentine ants. This single species has created a mega colony that spans 3 continents: Europe, North America, and Japan. Usually, ants from different nests fight each other. But Argentine ants from California recognize Argentine ants from Italy as brothers. They share the same genetic scent. This means billions of ants across the globe act as one single, unified superorganism. They are currently fighting a brutal war of extermination against other supercolonies on the borders of their territory. The casualties are in the millions every single day. It is a world war that never ends, fought by armies that dwarf the human population, right in your own backyard. Ants are not pests. They are the true masters of this planet. They have mastered architecture, agriculture, war, and sacrifice in ways we are only just beginning to understand. Which of these ant facts made your skin crawl? Would you rather be stung by a bullet or chased by a colony of army ants? Drop your choice in the comments. If you want to keep exploring the microscopic monsters of our world, destroy that like button and subscribe to Top Wonder. Stay curious, watch your step, and we'll see you in the next one.